Hello, Gordon. Could you say hello so we make sure we have you on audio, please? Hi, Rebecca. Could we check your audio as well?
Good evening.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And is the phone number ending in 471? Is that Ashley?
Yes.
Thank you. I thought so.
This is Gordon. Are you picking up my audio?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Maybe. There we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the August 3rd Washington County Planning Commission meeting. Tonight is a combination of in-person and via Zoom, and I'm going to introduce the members of the commission. We have Jeremiah Weddle, Denny Reeder, David Klein, BJ Getz, Randy Wagner, and I'm Clint Wiley. Before we get started, the first item on this evening's agenda are the minutes. It's July 6th, 2020 Planning Commission regular meeting minutes. Are there any questions, changes, recommendations from any members of the commission?
No, I move to approve.
We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
This is
I'll
BJ
second.
Getz. I'll second.
Okay, let BJ do it. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Under new business subdivisions, we have Elmwood Farm lots A and A1. This is S-17-040, request for an extension. Ashley,
Ashley.
Ashley, Mr. Holloway, you're up.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Ashley Holloway. I'm the Director of Plan Review and Permitting. Before you is a project here that was need for an extension. The client is still working through some issues with an outside reviewing agency, which I think they're just about cleared up. But according to the policy, after 2 years, you can only have but so many. I can only extend it so many times myself. So until it has to come to you all for an extension or for it to remain active, so they can get through the process and get the project complete. Garrett Foffenberger with Fox and Associates is on the line. If he wants to add more to it, he's more than welcome to.
Members of the commission, I haven't heard from Mr. Poffenberg. Members of the commission, do you have any input or questions regarding this?
Did someone, I might have missed it, Ashley, Randy Wagner, did someone mention how long an extension would be?
That I don't know offhand. I do apologize.
Yeah, any ideas? So what are we extending for, I guess, how long?
Randy, this is Gordon with Fox and Associates. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is the Selena Wilkes property, subdividing her acreage out there to provide her sister a building lot. When we first started this, we thought the lot would be well and thick. We quickly discovered that the land wasn't going to perk. So as part of Selena's event center, which you guys approved, she had to run water and sewer over to the facility for sprinklers and restrooms. So that work was just completed, and that's going to allow us to hook her sister's lot up to public water and sewer.
Yeah, I don't think I personally don't have a problem. I just want to know what someone's going to have to come up with a date, right? Clint?
I would think that this isn't going to go on indefinitely. At the same time, I'm more than willing to allow ample time to get to the finish line too.
It's just like 60 days, 30 days.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I would, to get through the review approval process and get the plan routed and signed and recorded, I think that's going to take I would like to ask for 90 days.
If we gave you 120, would that be plenty?
Yeah. You hearing me?
Yeah.
It should be recorded with 120 days for sure.
Other members of the commissions, do you have any input, thoughts? Is 120 enough, too much?
The letter says they want to wrap it up by the end of the year. Why not just extend it to the end of 2020?
I'm fine with that.
Hey, I agree. Just give it the end of the year. It all depends on the water and sewer coming to the property. Seems like she's got all that worked out. So I'm fine, like Dave, to the end of the year.
I'd motion to extend till December 31st.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, how do you vote? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Clint, this is EJ.
Yes.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Noted. Okay, so that request is carried. Next item this evening on the agenda are site plans, Big Corp Winery Agricultural Building Expansion, SP-018. This is a request for an extension. And Ashley, you're up again.
Okay. Hello again. Yes, this is another project, a site plan here that needs an extension that has run out of allowable extensions for myself. This again was having issues with the outside agency that I believe is almost being cleared up, if not cleared up already. But again, just ran out of allowable extensions through my office, so they had to come before you today. Again, if you could at least extend this until December 31st, 2020, that would be great. But I'll let Gordon Foffenberger speak more. I don't know if December 31st will be enough time for this, but I mean, they're only waiting for one approval from an outside agency. Everything else has been approved. So once this outside agency approves, I think the flow will be pretty fast.
Yeah, but everybody's working from home, so I would at least extend it until the end of the year.
Okay.
This project is also one that's being held up by the health department. The expansion of the Big Cork Winery, the health department asked for some effluent testing, which Charlie Similar had started doing, but then the health department was basically completely shut down for like 4 months. So it's my understanding that those samples have been taken and that's been given to the health department now since they've partially reopened. This one we were asking for end of 2020 or possibly spring of 21 to work through the health department testing and getting them what they need.
Okay, considering that there was such a delay from that, how about till, I don't know,
How about May 30th or May 31st,
I was just
2021?
I was gonna say July 31st, give it a year, but.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, give it a year, Clint.
That would be great.
I mean, we don't know what other delays may happen here in the fall due to COVID-19 for any of these, and you know, I think that, at least in my opinion, the commission will be very lenient in granting these kind of requests based on, you know, the circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, we want to give ample time. We understand that these are important projects, and we also understand that these applicants are successful business people who are working hard to expand their businesses. So we want to give them the room to do that. So
yeah,
I would just need a motion.
Clearly, they aren't delaying. They're a victim of circumstances. So
Exactly.
give them a year.
I agree with Dave. July next year is fine with me also. Give me a year, July 1st.
Okay, I have a motion to extend to July 1st of 2021. Is there a second?
Garrett Weddle, second.
So we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Hey, Clint,
Yes.
was that 7-1 or 7-31?
You know what? I couldn't make it out. Was the motion for 731 or 7-1?
7-1, I believe I heard.
Okay. Just want to make sure I had it right.
Okay,
Thank you, gentlemen.
sure, no problem. 7-1's fine. It gets,
That's what I thought I heard.
yeah. That's a little hard to hear. All right, next on our agenda, under other business, we have updates of staff approvals, and actually Holloway is on deck again.
All right. So as you can see from the report, just summarize some things for you really quickly, especially the high numbers here. You see that we had 3 site plans submitted for the month of July. So again, that's definitely good for the county. That site plans and, you know, developments is definitely moving forward. We have 7 standard grading plans submitted, 9 inspection and maintenance agreements made for July, and 3 type 2 grading plans. So things are steadily moving here. And on the permit side, just very quickly, as you can see, there a lot was going on with permits there. 19 grading permits, 22 entrance permits, and 3 utility permits. So, yeah, so we are definitely not short on work in the plan review and permitting division at all. So, and I'm glad to see that despite the whole pandemic, that developers and customers and residents are able to still get things constructed as they need to. Okay, is there any questions for me?
Any from any members of the commission?
Sounds good. Thank you, Ashley.
No.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate it. I'm glad things are staying busy.
Yes.
Next on this evening's agenda is comprehensive plan update, agriculture and forest element. And Jill Baker is here and she's got that.
Thanks, Clint. Members of the Planning Commission, we are diligently, slowly working toward completing our comp plan updates. Before you tonight is the agricultural and forest resource element. This is a new element. We didn't have this in the last plan. We had these sections spread throughout the document, but there was never a total section devoted to these resources. And what we continually heard in our public meetings and going out and talking to the public was their concerns about these resources, because these are the most plentiful resources that we have in Washington County. So we thought it would probably be behoove us to focus on that and dedicate an entire element to discussing these resources and what our land use goals and policies for that would be going into the future. As the rest of the chapters are set up, the beginning sections basically give you an introduction and a background to what we're talking about. In this specific case, the first section is our ag resources. We present an ag resource profile. A great deal of this data comes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and their National Agricultural Statistics Service, or NASS for short. The most recent data is, I think, 2019, that's been, or 2017, that's been released, 2017. So we put all that information in here to give people an idea of where we rank among the state in terms of agricultural use, land use, sales, and even the demographics of the farmer. We also talk about our land preservation efforts to date and some of the different land preservation programs that we have available. As always, we have had our oldest administered land preservation program, which is the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Program, or MALP. We've also got our Rural Legacy, our CREP program, our installment purchase program. Some newer ones are the Next Generation Farmland. And we have several old and new land trusts coming in that help kind of fill in gaps for us throughout the county. We talk about the progress that we've made over time. This program has been around for a little over 40 years now, and we've made a lot of progress over those 40 years. You can see some statistics in there, a couple charts about how many easements we're gaining per year, how many acres we're gaining per year. We also have a chart in there showing our converted versus preserved land. I think that chart speaks volumes to our efforts in Washington County, where when we first started the program, we were outpacing ourselves in converting land than we were preserving it. And you can see how much we've grown and really reversed that trend. To help aid in those kind of things, we talk about how we support our agricultural operations. We added some language to some new things that we're dealing with in Washington County, like agritourism efforts, our grown local movements, and again, a focus on our young farmers. That doesn't have a lot to do with land use in general, but it is something important that we should focus on to help our younger generations get involved in agriculture to keep us moving forward. As it relates to ag policies, we do have several land management policies. You're all fairly familiar with these, our comprehensive plan and zoning, our ag district program. The newest one is our priority preservation areas that we adopted back in, I believe, 2009. That is a required element of the plan by the state of Maryland for us to keep a certain percentage of the ag transfer tax to continue our land preservation programs. So that is an important section that we are elaborating on and talking about how the progress that we're making toward meeting those goals. We're doing pretty well. We are focusing our land preservation efforts in those PPA areas as recommended by the state. As we have success, we also have challenges. We talk a little bit in here about some of the challenges that we've experienced in our programs and how we can talk about them some more and work toward solutions that can help reverse some of these trends. We talk about de facto farmland, basically those who aren't interested in land preservation programs. A new section that, couple new sections. First of all, the alternative energy, big deal we've been talking about. This will help us guide our policies and statements when we deal with the PSC rulings and Board of Zoning Appeals hearings and so forth. The hybrid commercial agricultural uses, that deals kind of with the niche uses where we have people that are becoming more commercial than they are agricultural in uses. Mostly what we have dealt with right now are things like the weddings and large scale recreational activities that continue to blur that line between the commercial element and the use of the farm as a farm and a productive agricultural area. So we talk a little bit about that and some of the issues to deal with there. We then delve into our land preservation goals. It's been a long time now that our initial goal has been 50,000 acres of active agricultural land. We are somewhere hovering a little over 60% of that. We're, I think, 30 couple of thousand right now. That number keeps changing as we continue to gain easements through the years. But so what we did is a small analysis here of what they call critical mass, meaning at what point does conversion of agricultural land start to impact the agricultural industry? There's been very little talk about that, very little study about that, but I did find a study from the University of Maryland, and I delve into that a little bit and talk about whether or not we need to reevaluate that goal and what we can also do to support that goal, and if we choose to change it, what else we can do. So that's listed out there in the recommendations in the at the end of the agricultural section there. And some of these have come directly from public comments that we've received. Some of these are continuations of goals that we've had in previous documents. So that's the agricultural section. We also included in here the forestry section because they do sort of go hand in hand. While we do have active agriculture, forestry can also play a role in our land preservation efforts in terms of wood resources and harvesting and so forth. So we talk a little bit about, again, the background data, our inventory, what we have. We talk about the importance of forests and what the different types of forests are to help people understand. Most people take for granted the fact we live in an area that is heavily wooded because of our mountains and so forth, but we also need to keep in mind that it's not just the mountains that need the trees. We need trees in other areas to help for habitat and water quality and other things. We talk a little bit about the threats to healthy forests, especially related to urbanization and how that can fragment the forested areas. We talk about disease and invasive management. We talk about animal grazing, how that can impact some of our forest resources. As with the ag section, we do talk about what our current land management and stewardship policies are. We talk about our forest conservation ordinance and what that has done for us through the years. We talk about the payment in lieu of program, the forest banking program, and how they've helped us in maintaining healthy and relevant forests in our area. Again, that ends up in recommendations at the end of that section. Again, some of these are new, some of these are repeats from previous years that we want to keep maintaining. So that's a really quick overview of what we've tried to accomplish in this section. Like I said, it's new to this comprehensive plan, but we felt it was important to pull this out specifically and really focus some of our efforts in land management on these efforts, given a lot of feedback we've received. So I don't have anything else to add. I'm happy to answer any questions, take any comments, whatever you guys.
A couple things. First of all, I'm pleased to see the initiative of making this its own section. I think that's important for Washington County. I think it's important, from a land preservation standpoint and from an agricultural preservation standpoint, that it stands alone as its own chapter, and I appreciate that. The only other thing I'll add is I'm glad Jeremiah is helping lower the average age of the farm community.
That's pretty funny.
Well, farming has caused my hair to fall out and my beard's turning gray. I guess I'm still young.
Yeah, hey, we're getting some rain though. That should help.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, we haven't seen you in so long, we forget what you look like, so don't worry about it.
You're not missing much.
Oh, today, because it's raining, we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, back to this. Are there any comments from members of the commission?
A lot of work in there, Jill.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out definitely to Chris Boggs and to Travis Allen. Travis did the forest section, Chris did the ag section. They did a lot of that legwork. I just kind of put some finesse to the recommendation sections and stuff, but they did the overwhelming majority of legwork on this. So kudos to the staff for coming together and putting this together.
Good. That's great. So no other comments from members of the commission?
Yep, thanks, Jill, great.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. That brings our August 3rd Planning Commission meeting to a conclusion. Before we adjourn, I just want to remind everybody that our next meeting is actually on August 31st, end of this month, not the first Monday in September. Just a reminder of that. And then having said that, then I need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Garrett Weddle, second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Have a good to see.
Hey, guys. Everybody take care.